What's going on, guys? This is Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing my first video in 2017 covering the new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 set pictures that were just released on Amazon Japan a couple days ago. And so we're going to be talking about all three of these sets and everything they're going to have to offer come this spring, when I'm guessing LEGO will drop these sets. And if I were to guess, I would assume March 1st would be the date if we were to kind of take a look back as to when LEGO usually releases their sets for Marvel's summer blockbusters that drop in May. So we'll see, but I can't believe we're already talking about the sets for Guardians 2. This is super exciting, even though the biggest set kind of has what I sort of consider to be a bit of a problem. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. Okay, so first up, the Ravager Attack, the smallest set of the three. This one featuring Rocket Raccoon, Mantis, and Taserface the Ravager, and also a pretty decent build of the Ravager ship too, like their basic fighter, and it looks pretty awesome. Rocket is returning with the same headpiece, the same tail, except now LEGO actually printed a smile onto Rocket, which I think is great because he did not have that the first time around, and we all had to paint one on, and I honestly think like the smile looks pretty cool, and I like the design. I mean, some people are kind of opposed to it, but personally I think it looks pretty cool, and you know, definitely a welcome change. And he's also got his new dark blue costume with the new printed torso design to accommodate that. And then LEGO's attempt to portray Rocket's new guns by use of just some black alien conquest pistols with pieces thrown on them, because, you know, alien conquest pistols are just going to be around for the rest of our lives. They're never going to go away ever. Anyway, Mantis looks pretty cool too. We've seen this minifigure in leaked images already, but you can see, I mean, it looks like a really cool new design on her. She's got her in, you know, her own unique and exclusive new hairpiece that does have the antennas actually part of it, which is really awesome. I think that's a really cool design feature with the overall, you know, look at the minifigure and how the antennas sort of, you know, connect to her head, and I think that's, you know, that's awesome. And so yeah, then the face I think looks really cool. The eyes I don't think are totally necessarily right, because Mantis has some pretty unique looking eyes, and you know, and now that we've seen the trailer for the film, and I don't really think LEGO made an attempt to portray that on her, but I mean, maybe this is just because it was based off concept art. Who knows? It still looks like a really great minifigure, and I love the contrast of greens on her torso design. So yeah, then Taserface the Ravager looks like another really cool minifigure. I think the new mohawk piece they've got going for him looks great. The beard, the contrast of skin tones on the purple head, I think it all looks fantastic. And we saw this guy in full makeup at San Diego Comic-Con last year, so if you want to, you know what he actually looks like live action, because I don't think we've seen him in the trailers yet. So yeah, then he's also got a rocket launcher as his main accessory, which is pretty much just brick build based out of a stud shooter, which I think is pretty damn cool. And then you can probably kind of sort of tell that he does have a really nice looking like torso design and leg design underneath that giant beard that we really can't see in these photos, but it does look like it exists. And I guess we'll have to wait till we get the actual minifigure to actually, you know, see the rest of the design work on him. But yeah, now the ship in this set I kind of thought was maybe just another one of LEGO's vehicles that was just, you know, created for the sake of having the set. And no, this is actually the Ravager's like standard fighter. Like I'm pretty sure like you're gonna see multiple of these in the film. We see it in the trailer down below beneath the like the bridge that Yondu and Groot are walking down. And so I think that's, you know, pretty cool that LEGO has made it here. Obviously completely out of scale, but that's okay. We've grown accustomed to that, and it looks like a pretty cool build, man. I mean, there's not much to say. The cockpit, you got the opening cockpit. It looks like a sticker on the front. You got the Ravager logo on the top of the wing there, and that's pretty nice. You got a pair of stud shooters on the front, and I mean, it overall looks like a pretty decent build. And then also you can see we've got a whole like tree setup going on here, which appears kind of like the Milano crash site, because you can clearly see a piece of the Milano. That's what that is there. You've got the blue wing with the orange tile on it that has like the weathering sticker on there. So clearly I'm guessing maybe this kind of indicates that the Ravagers are the ones who shoot down the Milano in Guardians 2, because it looks like, you know, we've seen in the trailers that they're, you know, walking out of the Milano that has since crashed, so maybe it is because of the Ravagers, and so maybe that's what this set implies. But we do have the same like minigun-esque stud shooter making its return here in this set, of course, and of course you just take the knob on the back of that and just spin it, and then all the studs come flying out, which is really great because you got like 6 studs on that thing, and so it makes for great playability. And overall, this makes for a great set. I mean, I'm guessing this will be $20-25, and I think that it's probably absolutely going to be worth it because the minifigures all look spot on, and I just really think this is going to be definitely one to pick up. I mean, all 3 of these sets look pretty great for the most part, so yeah, let's keep it going. Next up, Ayeshas Revenge, another really solid looking set, this time debuting Yondu, and our first time to discuss Baby Groot, man. But we're going to start off by talking about StarLord, aka Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, but this looks like a really great new version of StarLord, having the new jacket design, the t-shirt design there underneath. I mean, it looks really cool. He does have the new Superman hairpiece, which I think it's probably time to stop calling that a new hairpiece, given that it debuted with Superman at the start of last year, but obviously it's been used on countless minifigures since, and pretty much every custom minifigure ever, but it still looks great and fantastic on StarLord. It is a significant upgrade in comparison to the regular hairpiece that we'd always seen used that was given to him last year, or not last year, 2014 was not last year. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's definitely a welcome upgrade is what I was trying to get out. So yeah, and then we do have his pistols returning, which is great. LEGO didn't just give him a pair of Alien Conquest pistols too, so I guess that's gotta count for something. The jetpack he's got is just a basic pair of binoculars, which is fine for a brick built version, so that's definitely pretty nice. And so yeah, Yondu in this set finally debuting here with his new Mohawk design, and at first when I looked at him I was like, okay, there's something wrong with that Mohawk. Like there's just something off, and then you can pretty much put it together in a matter of seconds that it's because obviously this is LEGO. They're not going to do what customizers do, where they're not going to cut the studs off of heads, of course. So obviously you have it exposed, and obviously LEGO, they really can't print onto the sides of the head of the stud and make it look effective or anything. So basically you do have the Mohawk, but you also have to leave the blue stud in the middle of it, kind of making it look a little jarring at first, but it's totally understandable, and a really cool piece that I'm hoping I'll be able to salvage and use on my own custom Yondu when the time comes to make minifigures for Guardians 2, and it looks awesome, man. It's definitely a really cool piece. And so yeah, but my only problem with Yondu here is the face. Like I can't see it all that well yet, of course, but it doesn't really look too close to Michael Rooker. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but his torso looks great, and he does have a set of leg printing, which is great too. I mean, overall it looks like a pretty solid minifigure of Yondu, and me trying to pick at the face is probably really nothing. I mean, it looks awesome, and it's great to finally have him as an official minifigure. So yeah, and then Baby Groot, man, our micro version of Groot. He's in this set in his little Ravager costume, and it looks fantastic. We have a closer picture of him, of course, which did come out recently, and it looks, like a really great new piece, and I honestly am super impressed. Usually you would probably hear me bitching about something like this, but it honestly looks pretty cool. The new Groot micro figure is, it has the head design. It's got his, you got a rivet for his feet. You have the hands look okay. I mean, it really doesn't look all that bad. I was honestly expecting a trophy figure, so this is definitely a welcome change, and I think it looks awesome. I mean, yes, the color palette is a little off, but I mean, really, this is all LEGO can do when you really can stop to think about, their current color palette. So I mean, it doesn't look all that bad. I mean, so for a purist, this is a great thing. For people who don't customize, I think this is awesome. So I mean, yeah, I like I said, for somebody like me who's expecting a trophy figure, just a printed trophy figure like the ones we saw in the helicarrier, I'm honestly impressed. So that looks great. Anyway, so next up in the set here we got Ayesha herself, and this is kind of funny because Marvel has yet to show what Ayesha actually looks like in the movie, but LEGO's got first dibs in this set, so I guess now we know that Ayesha's gonna look pretty golden. Yeah, so anyway, Ayesha is pretty much like this priestess of a race of superior beings, and it looks like, according to what this set is kind of implying, those ships that we saw in the trailer, like in front of StarLord, are actually probably a part of her race, of the sovereign people. So I mean, that's pretty cool to sort of get that implied confirmation, but not really. It does have a pair of stud shooters on the sides, and I mean, honestly, I think it looks like a really cool interpretation of the design that we've seen in the trailers. I mean, that looks like a really solid build. And then she's standing atop like this red surface that LEGO has made out of a few slopes. So I don't really know what that's about. I don't know what she's holding in her hand, but it looks like a really cool minifigure there with Ayesha, and then the other vehicle in the set, the bigger vehicle that Yondu is piloting. LEGO has made some weathering attempts by use of some stickers, which is pretty cool. None of us are going to be able to place those correctly or as perfectly as we, or match them as perfectly as we see on the box, but we will all try. And that dish on the side looks really cool, because that, I'm pretty sure, is printed, and we do get 2 of them, and that's awesome. I think that's a really cool piece. And yeah, so then also on the sides of the vehicle, like next to the cockpit, you can see we got some stickers on like those slopes next to the main cockpit dome piece, so that's definitely pretty cool. We got some stud shooters on the bottom, which is pretty great. It looks like only 1 stud shooter though, so I don't really see how that's necessarily an issue, but I mean, that's definitely pretty cool, man. And one thing I almost forgot to mention is that Yondu does come with his arrow. Nearly forgot to mention that. I don't believe that's a new piece, but if I were to guess, it's probably is, and I'm probably wrong, and you guys will probably tell me that in the comments. But I'm pretty sure I've seen that arrow before. I don't think it's new, but again, I can't remember these things. Anyway, yeah, then we also do have a little bit, just to wrap this up, we got a little bit more stickers with some, trying to portray some more battle damage, which is pretty cool on the other side of the of this vehicle, and I really don't have a name for it yet, of course, other than it just kind of looks like the same mining vehicles we saw on Nowhere. So yeah, that's it for this set. Actually, real quick, while recording this analysis, we got some low-res pictures of the back of each of the boxes, and while this didn't affect the Ravager Attack or the Milano versus the Obelisk that I'm about to talk about, it did affect Ayeshas Revenge here, because you can clearly see some features that I did not talk about. So here are those extra features on the back of the box with the vehicle that Yondu is piloting, and also the series of slopes that Ayesha is standing on. There are some clear playability features going on here, and it's still sort of difficult to make out because the resolution on the picture is just kind of bad. So it just, again, here's the back of the box. This is what you can kind of tell. You got some compartments on the sides, and it looks like the side, like those dish pieces, actually open up, which I would have never known. So yeah, definitely a lot more going on with this set than we were able to see in the front of the box and the product picture. So yeah, just wanted to make sure you guys saw this before we move on. And the final set, the biggest of the 3, the Milano versus the Obelisk, or the pink Rathtar, and you can see this set as a really solid series of minifigures going forward. We got our new StarLord, Gamora, Drax, Baby Groot out of his Ravager costume, and Nebula. So StarLord bringing back the same helmet piece with the hair on top. Always loved this helmet. The second LEGO debuted, it's a fantastic piece, and it does have some new printing for the lenses, which is pretty cool if you've seen the leaked pictures of this one. So yeah, same jetpack, same pistols, and he does have leg printing, which kind of has me confused because we know this version of StarLord has the leg printing, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's literally just Hawkeye's legs from the tanker truck takedown last year. So that's kind of unfortunate, but at least it's something. Gamora looks really nice as well. We can kind of see her there. It appears as though she'll have the exact same head from the 2014 line, which is okay by me. It was a fantastic head, and she does have what appears to be the same hairpiece almost, with a little bit more purple in like the tinted hair color. So I'm guessing that might be new, but probably not. I'm guessing it's probably also just the lighting of this picture, if I were to guess. So yeah, I don't know how many times I just said the word guess there. Anyway, the torso and legs also look pretty good for what we can see. I mean, it looks like she's got the same exact pair of legs as StarLord, and of course that was recycled from Hawkeye, as I mentioned, which I guess is kind of okay. If that's the standard now for the Guardians minifigures, that's just a thing now. So yeah, anyway, so Drax is also back, and it looks like Drax just has a new pair of legs and a new head, which I think is fine. That's totally cool, and you can kind of tell that Drax's torso and all that stuff is pretty much all intact there. And one thing I should mention, which is a pretty cool design note, I wonder if they're going to carry it over onto this new Drax, his Marcus Besa, the designer of the original Milano, and a lot of things at LEGO. He has his tattoo, actually, he had that worked into Drax's arm, like his left arm, and I wonder if they'll keep that as part of his design this time around, which is, I think, pretty cool. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention mention that because it's definitely a cool fact. He does have the same jetpack that StarLord is sporting. You can kind of see that. And same daggers, you know, same basic rubber knives that we've had before, but the legs, you know, new pair of dark blue legs. And this time Drax has a aggressive facial expression. And this time, guys, I think I will make an effort to make my custom Drax a little less green so that you guys can, you know, not post in like endless comments about it like you guys did a few years ago in 2014. Anyway, that's totally off topic. We're just gonna move on to Baby Groot, and freaking Baby Groot looks fantastic. I mean, I said this in the you know, with the first set, and I think he looks great here, even out of the Ravager costume, which it appears as though he is, and I think that's awesome. I mean, personally, I prefer the version when he's out of the Ravager costume, so I think that looks really great. And then also, we'll move on to Nebula, who we can sort of kind of see, and you can see that her handcuffs kind of cover up a lot of the torso, but one thing we can clearly make out is that LEGO has finally, thankfully, changed the head color on Nebula, because the first time around, of course, probably based off concept art, they went with a pretty standard blue, and Nebula's, you know, her head color is definitely a much lighter blue, and they've done that this time around, which I think is great, because that just means it's a hell of a lot less paint work for me to have to do on her. So I think that's great. Nebula looks awesome. Can't wait to see what her role is in the film, and she's making her return in this set. And then the Obelisk. I'm trying to talk about all the positives before we talk about the Milano. The Obelisk here looks really great. Our pink Rathtar, as I said, all the tentacles look awesome. It appears as though it has some sort of Technic function as to where you can probably rotate the tentacles. I mean, it looks like that's what those Technic wheels are for. And you can see the eyes on the Obelisk are taken straight from that Doctor Strange like portal monster that you guys might remember from the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is pretty cool. And it appears as though it probably has a few stickers on like the top of it, and potentially toward the bottom, like the base of it. So I mean, it looks pretty cool. It's great to have it, you know, in a set. And then there's really not much else to add though, other than it looks like a really nice design. And yeah, so now we discuss the Milano. Okay, so as much as I was really excited to see what LEGO is going to do with the new Milano, there's no denying that I'm pretty let down, man. I honestly was expecting more, and LEGO instead this time around, I mean, I'm guessing the reason that this was done, and before, if you don't even notice, if you can't even tell what I'm talking about, the Milano is smaller. And I'm guessing the reason that this was done is maybe to make this set a little bit more accessible to the masses, so that more people will be able to pick up, you know, this Guardian set to have the Milano. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know why LEGO decided to make a smaller, stubbier version of it, but unfortunately, this does not live up to the first Milano. This is... I mean, and it's strange too, because me and a couple friends, we talked to Marcus Besa, who designed the first Milano back in 2014, and we met him at Brick Fair 2015. He talked about how the 2014 Milano was his favorite build that he had designed for LEGO, and it kind of baffles me to think that he would have been the one behind this one too, given that this is just a smaller, like I said, stubbier version. I don't really know, you know, what happened internally at LEGO that has caused them to make this the way it is. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but there's no denying that because of, you know, how much smaller and how, I mean, I keep using the word stubby, but it's definitely the word to describe the lack of wingspan, the lack of, you know, the smaller and less exciting flaps on the sides. I mean, the cockpit print is cool. There's that, it's got that going for it. And one thing I do like though is the secondary color change, as opposed to like the medium yellow that we had previously. LEGO has changed it to orange, which I think is great, because the Milano color is definitely a bit more orange, and I say it's great because it's accurate, but I do still prefer the yellow, if I were to be honest with you. And in terms of detail, they did, you know, bring the Milano like text onto this one, which I think is cool. The first Milano didn't have the actual Milano text on the front, and so LEGO has brought that onto this one with a sticker, and then we got some more detail on the front, in front of the cockpit, just with, you know, some more stickers being used. And we really can't tell what this thing does, what this new Milano does in terms of playability, other than it has the stud shooters on the top, and it appears as though, if we take a look at the box, that it drops mines. So, aside from that, there really isn't much to talk about other than just, again, how disappointing it is that instead of making, you know, instead of one-upping themselves or making a Milano close to the one that they had put out in 2014, they just kind of went ahead and made this smaller, stubbier, less exciting version, which I think really sucks. And if I were you guys, if you picked up the Milano back in 2014, I would just wait and get these figures off of Bricklink or something. I mean, who knows? If I get the set in hand, when I talk about it in the review, maybe I'll have a different opinion to give you guys. But as of right now, recording this analysis video, I am only interested in the minifigures here. I could do without the Obelisk, and I really, because I have the first Milano, I don't have any interest in this one. This one's even smaller, gonna have an even less of an interior. I mean, it's disappointing, man. It really is. But again, I like the secondary color change, and I do like the extra detail that was added in the form of stickers. But I mean, a color change and stickers do not make up for the design of this new one. It just one last time, it's really disappointing. But yeah, so kind of sucks to end on a lower note for this analysis video. But I figure we're gonna be honest here, right? I should probably stop talking. That would probably be a really great idea. Alright guys, and there you go. That's it for my first video in 2017. I was definitely waiting for something worthy of that title to do a video on, because I figured the Ghost Rider Showcase and finishing up Enchantress from Suicide Squad really didn't live up to that, but I think this analysis on the new Guardians 2 sets definitely has. And if you enjoyed this analysis video, guys, or if you found this informative, or if this helped you in deciding at all as to which sets you plan on picking up when these sets do come out, be sure to let me know by dropping this video a like below and or your opinion down in the comments, guys. Seriously, all your feedback and support means a lot, especially on the analysis videos that hands down require the most editing out of any of my videos. So yeah, but I just want to say real quick, huge thanks to Hoth Bricks. Even though these pictures originated from Amazon Japan, it's usually always Hoth Bricks that I source my pictures from. They're a great site that I will drop a link to down in the description below. And if you guys want to keep up with me throughout 2017, all the custom minifigures and showcases that I have planned and reviews to come, be sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and hopefully over there I will still be able to speak, and you'll see all kinds of super cool previews of upcoming minifigures like I just mentioned, and other cool stuff. So yeah, I think that's it though, and I'm really excited to review all three of these sets. I will absolutely be reviewing all three of these sets as soon as they come out. Once again, I'm kind of assuming it's going to be March 1st when these sets drop, so here's hoping. And so it's going to be pretty awesome, guys. And I think I'm going to end on that note, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for sticking around. All right, bye-bye. What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'm doing kicking off the year on my channel with the We're kicking off the new year on my channel covering is set in the wave featuring Yondu, and our first time to discuss. Okay, we'll add discuss to the vocabulary of Ross. Okay, great. Of secondary color from the from the freaking train